Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Rob Gantz here with YG Productions and LebcoSports.com, bringing to you this high school boys volleyball game between the Streaks of Manhiem Township and the Falcons of Cedar Crest. This should be a hard-fought matchup here. Cedar Crest comes in a much hotter squad as they are 5-3 in the league. They're sitting in third place in Section 1 right now. A win could take them up being tied for second, which could catapult them into a playoff position, which last year they won the LL League for their first time, and it was also their first time section champs. So exciting times here for the Cedar Crest boys volleyball program. Looking to watch them play today as they are led by a couple seniors on the squad. Drake Stiver is a senior, Jude Gersey is a senior, Wyeth Ritter is a senior, and Nikolai Kote is also a senior. Then they have some juniors and a couple sophomores to round out their squad. Interested to see how they play today, see if they can end the rallies quickly. It was a hard-fought JV matchup right before this one, where a lot of longer rallies. So that's why we're getting off to a little bit of a later start than planned this evening. But it was a good battle. Now, Manhiem Township comes in conversely kind of on the opposite end of the volleyball spectrum, as they're sitting at 1-8 in the league and had a very rough start to the season, and it actually was a continuation from the end of their season last year. They ended pretty rough, and they had come in on a longer losing streak that is going to be hard to rebound, especially going up against the league champs, and they are playing well at the moment. They are coached by Caleb Roberts and Conrad Martin, however, and they have a couple seniors on their squad as well. Brady Bergman, who's actually in the Libaro jersey tonight, so he'll be anchoring the back line for Township. And then they also have senior James Black, who's one of their outside hitters, who'll be trying to hammer the ball down and not allow Cedar Crest to save it and dig it out. Like I said, here with YG Sports and LebcoSports.com, looking to watch this exciting boys volleyball game tonight between Cedar Crest and Manhiem Township, and we will be with you very shortly to get this action underway. Thank you so much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Cedar Crest Gym here, where we are getting ready for this matchup between the Manhiem Township Blue Streaks and the Cedar Crest Falcons. Teams are just now shaking hands underneath the net, saying good game, getting everything set up. We're ready to go. We have had our starting lineups introduced. We've had the national anthem played, and we're just getting ready to go underway. You can see on our cool net cam the high fives there. We'll be utilizing that camera tonight if there are any plays at the net, if we want to look at any net faults and things like that. So you'll have that courtside action there on replays and things that be able to take a look at what happened. So we are getting ready to start here. They're just finalizing some of the lineups with the officials. And you can see Cedar Crest starting with the serve, because we do have Brady Bergman out as the libero for Manhiem Township, getting ready to anchor the back line. We have senior Wyeth Ritter on the serve for Cedar Crest to get this underway. Side out, Cedar Crest point for Manhiem Township to get it started. And serving for Cedar Crest, we have Wyatt Wachinski. It's a good set to the outside, but dug out nicely in the back. Kept alive nicely at the net there by Ethan DeCaro. Kill attempt goes long, so it's still another point there for Manhiem Township to be up 2-0 here in this first set. Net fault on that serve by Wachinski, so ball goes over to Cedar Crest and the point for the Falcons. And Tanner Showers on the serve now for the Falcons. Block was unsuccessful at the net. It was a good kill there by Trent Shoemaker. Score is now 3-1. Bergman is serving. Block again unsuccessful there at the net for Cedar Crest as Nicholas Kennan attempted to block. So Brady Bergman's going to serve again. That's a more recent rule change in PIAA that the libero is allowed to serve now. Good kill there by Cedar Crest. Nicholas Kennan to take the ball over to their side of the court. 4-2 is still the score. We now have Jude Gursi on the serve, and he is their libero. Good dig, kept the rally alive. However, they called a carry there, so a little bit of a fault there, carrying the ball, lifting it there at the net. Ball comes over to Manhiem Township, leading 5-2 in this first set. With Keen Lehman on the serve. The fake hit then, and a great kill from the outside hitter, Matthew Sprague, the junior. Excellent fake, kind of threw the defense off and allowed them to get the kill. Now have Matthew Peelan on the serve for Crest. Southpaw with the serve. Oh, a little dink over by Captain Jack Black with that little dink, not expected at all, over his head. Beautiful point there. 6-3 Township with his older brother James Black now on the serve. Another little dink there, that time by Crest. Nikolai Cote got it in there for the point. 6-4 now Cedar Crest. Side out as he went for the dink instead of the kill because the block was in his way. 6-5 Township. See if Cedar Crest can go on a service run here. Some of our more successful rallies that we've had. Goes deep though, ties it up 6-6 now. Maybe Crest is settling in, got those early nerves out after getting off to the late start. Nice read there by the Township back line as they thought about making a pass and then they realized, nope, that's over our heads, let that one go. So this is fault out of bounds. Going to be 7-6 Township serving. We have Griffin Crumbling is now serving, the sophomore. And he returned the favor with a long serve. Still, now it's 7-7. They have some substitutions coming in. Bergman comes on, and Garusi goes off. A little bit of miscommunication there, an unforced error by Township. Just let that one drop in between Bergman and James Black. Not sure who wanted to take that, so Crest takes the lead 8-7. Good block right there at the net by Nicholas Kennan. Gets the point to Crest, up 2 now, 9-7. Past the outside hitter. Good dig to keep it alive. Have another successful rally to get ended. Was ended by the kill there by Wyatt Trombley. Excellent kill. 10-7. Yeah, I was called into action on that one as the kill came right over to our table. Almost knocked the computer down. Way to fool the block with the little dink. Outside hitter, they thought it was going wide. However, it did sneak inside. Point for Crest there. It's 11-7 in this first set. With Nikolai Cote on the serve. Timeout is called by Manhiem Township. They want to just kind of get their ducks in a row. There was a little bit challenging. Allowed the point to just drop in untouched. You want to prevent those unforced errors, as they can really start to pile up on you, and they can end a match quickly if you let them just keep compounding on you. So I think that's what the first set. Let's go ahead and calm down, make sure we're communicating, do the things that we've done in practice over and over again. There was a couple rally points there that went back and forth a few times, so most of them were once over and done. There weren't a lot of really good passes off of the serves. Makes it hard to get the offense set up. They were out of system a lot. That one does go out, wide side out for Cedar Crest. So that point goes to Manhiem Township, 11-8 now. Looks like Captain Jack Black is going to be on the serve now for Township. Very interesting and exciting. He's a freshman and the captain, so that is an exciting move for the program to know that this young man's going to be here for 4 years. Good pass. There's a set to the hitter. Dug out by Black. Little dink kept alive. But then another side out there for Crest. The point goes to Township. Looks like the timeout helped a little bit. They settled with 2 straight points now. We'll see if they can go on a service run themselves. Another side out by the outside hitter. Couple unforced errors now by Crest here. It's kind of allowed Township back into the set. And it's 11-10 after 3 straight points for Township and only 2 of them while having service. Little dink by the middle hitter. Great set that led to the kill there for Crest to kind of rewrite their ship. It's 12-10 now, Crest, after that kill. And that was one that they needed because Township was rattling off some points there in succession, so they needed to get it settled. Wyeth Ritter on the serve. Unable to dig it out. It does go out then for a point for Township. Wyeth Wachinski is back on the serve. Little dink. I think they called it a net fault. Yeah, it looks like it was a net fault on Crest, so the point goes to Township, what I think happened just from my angle looking is it looked like when he made that run, and I think he had 1 foot completely over the center line, which is an automatic net fault. Whether or not it impedes the play, if your whole foot is on the other side, it's a net fault, and that's what I think referee 1 saw. But they rebounded nicely and had the kill there by Nicholas Kennan. So 13-12, still in the first set. Nice block at the net. Goes right into the point there. It's a good stuff block at the net by Nicholas Kennan. He's had a couple of those this first set. This is 14-12. That was a big kill from the back line. It's Wyatt Wachinski, the sophomore, elevated, got up above the net from pretty far back, was able to get it down nicely. Unable to dig it out was Matthew Sprague for Crest. Libero serving. Blocked by Crest, leads to a point. It's 15-13. And now the libero for Crest is serving. Jude Garissi. Oh, almost had the block there, but it does fall. It is the point. So that was Parker Anthony that tried to block that there. So Jude Garissi still serving, up by 3 in the first set. Hit the net there, got stuck a little, slowed it down. Point Crest on the kill there. Excellent service run that they're on right now, up by 4, 17-13. Township calls their second timeout. They want to talk it over again. So while we were in that last set of action, I have my daughter with me, and the one thing she asked is the libero part of the other team? Because if you're unfamiliar with volleyball and you're looking out, you see a player out there with an opposite jersey. So that player is more of a defensive specialist. They are meant to anchor the back line. They're usually in the middle of the back line. They can substitute freely. They have different rules than all the other players that go on a rotation basis. So the libero can come in when his team is on defense receiving the serve. And like I said earlier, there are different rules now within PIAA volleyball that allows the libero to do different things. They are allowed to serve, but they also have different rules associated with when they're on the attack. They cannot hit the ball as an attack from the back if the entire ball is above the net at the time of making contact. A lot of different rules. We can talk about them a little bit as the game goes if we see anything that warrants a discussion about it, but just wanted to let you know in case you were unfamiliar with some of the rules, as we did have a net fault serve there by the libero for Crest. Gives the ball over to Manhiem Township now, 17-14. We have Keen Lehman back for the serve for Township. Dug out by the libero. Oh, fake out as Drake Stiver looked like he was going to kill and then did a little dink over his left shoulder. Excellent play at the net, 18-14 in the first set. And Matthew Peelan is back for the serve now for Crest. Nice kill there again by Crest, by Nikolai Kote. Another thing that maybe not everybody knows if you're unfamiliar with volleyball. So in varsity they play best of 5 sets. So you need to win 3 sets to win the match, and each set is 25 points. Excuse me. You have to win by 2, unless it goes to a 5th set. Then that one only goes to 15. There's a net fault there by Crest, so brings a serve over to Township. James Black on the serve. Look and see what the call is. That is a point for Township. So it went out of bounds on the return. Another thing you've maybe noticed, again, if you're not really familiar, you'll see a lot of players, when their team is serving, have their hands on their head or out wide, because there's a rule they're not allowed to have their hands above their head until the ball crosses the net. Point Crest there with the stuff block. Big play by Matthew Sprague. He's now back on the serve. 20-16. A little trick play there that did not capitalize on for Township. Point goes to Crest, 21-16. Sprague still serving. Pass by the libero over to Black. To his brother. Side out. Looked like it was good, but it did fall outside of the line. Another point for Crest. They're on a good service run here. 3 more points to win the set. Big kill by the outside hitter, Wyatt Wachinski. Kind of stopped the run. They needed that. They're still down 5 here in this first set, but now when they have the service, maybe they can go on a run there for themselves. Griffin Crumbling is coming back to take the serves. Point goes to Crest. They are going to talk about it, as it looked like one of the line judges had a different opinion than both referees, so they're going to talk about it and come up with a solution. And I'd like to see them come and talk about it. They're still calling it a Crest point, I believe, yes. After discussion, it is staying Crest point. So it brings it to 23-17, 2 points left in this set. Big block by Wachinski on the left side there to give service back to Manhiem Township. Still down 5, 2 points to go in the set for Crest. Jack Black with the serve. The return was deep. We're going to take a look at that replay because it looked like there was some confusion. And from this angle, looked out, I don't know, they're saying maybe he got touched at the net, but Crest is now serving set point. This great dig by Bergman as it came off the net. Good set to the outside hitter for the kill. Set point, Drake Stiver. So we're going to, there's 3 minutes in between sets. We have that first set goes to Crest 25-18. There were some really good serves by Jack Black for Township, but overall they looked outmatched by Cedar Crest. They just were better offensively and better defensively. There's a lot of points they got from stuff blocks. The back row, they had the fake there by 28, and then it was killed by 16. That one, you went another fake where they thought they were going to go for the kill, and they did a little dink over the top of that front line. Right there, just another good kill. Here's some of the serve by Wachinski, but then again, it was a pretty free ball over that allowed Crest to get into their offense. And that's what you saw a lot of in that first set. The serves from Township didn't have a lot of movement on them, not a lot of spin, that really allowed Crest to set up their offense and have a good pass and then set to their outside hitters to make a big play. We just see repeated highlights of very similar things. Nice set, good finish. Here we're again looking at the net cam. The great kill there that Wachinski attempted to block and just didn't have any success with getting the block. But then Crest and that was a good kill by Wachinski on that replay. And the last one here is, I do believe that one right there was the set winner to get the first set to Cedar Crest. They won that one 25-18. We'll go to the second set here in about a minute. So there was a little bit of confusion, maybe a little bit of controversy, if you will, in that first set where it seemed like the officials might not have necessarily been on the same page with their line judges as well. And I did appreciate the time that they got together to talk about it and said, nope, this is what we saw, this is where we were at. And they made that decision and stuck with it. And I can appreciate when they communicate and come up with a collective agreement and a solution instead of just saying, no, this is what I decided, we're not going to talk about it, and it's over. So that is always nice to see. But we will see if Cedar Crest can keep the momentum going as they ended that set on a nice little run. Or we'll see how Township responds and if they can kind of slow it down a little bit, get big points here, get some defensive stops. They're coming back out to the court, getting ready to start set 2. Looks like Wyatt Wachinski's going to be on the serve for Township to get the second set underway. Referee's just checking the lineup cards. Again, just finishing up the verification of the lineups, make sure everybody is out where they're supposed to be. So Libero is actually starting in for Township despite them being on the serve right now. Ace for Wachinski to start the second set. To just serve was a little too hot to handle for Nicholas Kennan. That was something you didn't really see the first set, serves like that. Another serve that was a little too hot to handle. That one was misplayed at the back by Matthew Sprague. Wachinski's starting off on a nice run here, 2-0. There's 3 straight points for Crest. That was an unforced error there by Wyeth Ritter as he hit the kill right into the net. Oh, and then that's a serve fault that you hate to see from Wachinski, who was on a good service run, 3 straight points to start the set. Just a little wide and long, turns it over. And now we have Wyeth Ritter on the serve for Crest. Good dig. Good step, a good block at the net. Set from the libero, blocked. Keep it alive, the outside hitter. Have a good rally. Dig that keeps the rally going. Outside hitter with the kill, but dug out nicely by the libero. That was our longest rally for sure. It was a Crest point, but it looks like the referee is talking to the two captains about something. Good save by Wachinski. Black kept it alive. And a bad pass there from the libero. Crest goes out, gives Township the lead, 4-3. Bergman's on the serve now. It's that kill. It's good dig to keep the rally alive. Little dink over, but kept alive by Black. And John McGowan with the kill. Brings the lead now 5-3. Bergman still serving. Net fault again. That's happened to them several times tonight as well, where they've had a service run and then they kind of stop themselves with a bad serve, either into the net or going long. At some point, I think let's just keep it in play to get the rallies going, because we're being successful with the rallies. Block at the net by both Nicholas Kennan and Matthew Peelan. And Tanner Showers is back on the serve with it tied up 5-5. The outside hitter, but it is blocked. And they missed off the net, misread off the net there by Parker Anthony, allowed it to drop. Point goes to Crest. 6-5, they take the lead in the second set. Bergman with the dig. Wachinski with the kill as he came up from the back line. Excellent kill there. Ties it up at 6. We now have Griffin Crumbling on to serve. Pass there by Garissi. Oh, nice block there again by Nicholas Kennan as James Black went for the kill from the outside, and it just was a stuff block. Good point there for Cedar Crest. Take the lead again, 7-6. Kind of on the back and forth right now, where Crest takes the lead, but then they lose service and allow Township to tie it up, and then they lose service. Good block. They look like, an excellent hustle play by Captain Jack Black to keep that rally alive. And the kill was deep. Yep. Point goes to Township. So 7-7. Oh, unforced error as it hit into the net. We are having a little bit of technical difficulties with our scoreboard right now. Just so you know, it is 8-7 Township in the second set. Cedar Crest has the 1 set point, no set points for Manhiem Township. Scoreboard looks like it is correct. We got that taken care of thanks to our production team. It is a side out point for Cedar Crest as it was a failed, for Manhiem Township, it was a failed block attempt. So it's now 9-7 Township in set number 2. Unforced error again on the serve there. Right when they are starting to get momentum, they give it right back with an unforced error on the serve. You can see the coaches over on the sidelines demonstrating what happened and what they need to do to fix it. Lefty serve. And there was a block, then another block at the net by Crest. Jack Black keeps it alive. Another block. Another block off the antenna. Point goes to Township as they call a net fault on Crest. I think he made contact with the antenna. So Parker Anthony on the serve for Township. Ball is a little hard to handle, but nice save there on the back. Kept in. Dug out there by the libero. Oh, couldn't quite get the block there for Township, so point goes to Crest. 9-10 in favor of Township right now in set number 2. A good kill by Trent Shoemaker. Score is 11-9. He elevated and just had too much power as there was the block attempt, but wasn't enough to keep it on this side of the net, and it was Township's point. Nice pass to Cedar. Kill, but a good dig by Black, but unfortunately couldn't stay alive. Point goes to Crest, but that was an excellent dig on the line there by Captain Jack Black to give his team a chance. This set in particular is very back and forth compared to the first one where there were some runs by Crest. And once they got up, they did not relinquish that lead. Again, another big dig by Black to keep it alive. Then a kill. Kill by Nicholas Kennan. (11-11) here in the second set. Bergman with the dig. Called net fault on the outside of that, so the point Crest 12-11. Nice play to keep that in by Wachinski. Oh, good block. Dig to keep the rally alive. Excellent pass. Can they get it across? Yes, they did. Excellent play to keep that rally alive. Big dig. Outside hitter with a little dig, but a big play by the Township libero to keep it alive. And we got a kill. Point goes to Crest. What a rally. A lot of back and forth in there. I know we'll see some of that in our highlights. This Township wants to take a timeout and talk it over after that one. That'll be their first timeout of the second set. That was quite the rally there at the end. Saw several big digs from the liberos on both sides to keep it alive and keep that rally going. It just ultimately, Cedar Crest was too much at the net for Township to hang on to it and keep the point going. So it is 13-11. We're halfway through this second set, excuse me. And this was similar time that Township used timeouts in the first set. And when they used their timeouts in the first set, they were ultimately successful, and they came back from the break, ended up stopping the service run and getting a point or two themselves. So we'll see if they have the same success after this timeout as they did in the first set. Not sure. I know they have had some consternation with the officiating tonight. They've been more vocal about calls or missed calls than Crest and their coaching staff have. So we'll see how that plays out too. I know sometimes if you're more vocal, you get less calls, but hopefully that isn't held against them at all as we progress through this second and then third sets. Some miscommunication immediately out of the timeout led to an ace for Cedar Crest by Nikolai Cote. Excellent serve. Good dig there. A little side out there. Point goes to Township, 14-12. Wyatt Wachinski's back on the serve for Township. Oh. So they call that 4 hits because you can see the official held up the finger 4, so he count one of the blocks twice. So point goes to Township, 14-13. I think there's some confusion at the net as Shoemaker thought they were going to go for the kill, but then there's a little dink just over Shoemaker's left shoulder, which allowed Crest to get the point, 15-13. They're 10 points away from taking set number 2. Good block there at the net by Nicholas Kennan. He has done that multiple times tonight. He's been an enforcer at the net, stopping those kills. Had a lot of stuff block points. Way to keep that alive. Oh, then unforced error into the net. Drake Stiver didn't quite get up high enough above the net for that one and kind of drove it right into the middle of the net. Bergman on the serve. Little dig, but good dig out there by Jack Black. There's that man again, Nicholas Kennan at the net saying no thank you, we'll take that point. So they're now up 17-14. Back to serve is Tanner Showers. That was black to black to black. What are they calling? Officials are talking about, they don't know, are they going to call a touch? They did, they called a touch. It is point Township. They were talking, they were looking at each other trying to figure out what it was. We're going to take a look at that one again real quick because I didn't see the touch, but that's why they're out there. So they're saying Nicholas Kennan got his fingertips just on that, which resulted in the point for Township. But again, they stop their own momentum with a serve fault going too deep. Point goes to Crest. That was a chance to try to steal some momentum back. Just wasn't happening. Black keeps it alive. Wachinski send it over. Ooh, nice play at the net. Oh, what are we calling? What do they call? 4? For Crest. That's why he was holding up the 1-4. Big kill on the outside by James Black. Gives the point to Township. 19-16 here in set number 2. Keen Lehman coming back for the serve. Good dig out by Bergman. In point for Township. Also, one of the things that has really surprised me about watching both the JV match and this one is how high the ball goes when they have these digs, where they get down to the ground and it just, the momentum and the force from the kill just sends it straight back up almost to the ceiling and into the rafters. Lehman with another good serve. Kill blocked but kept alive. Grusi keeps it alive. Tried a little dink over. So one hitting over, but they needed it. Lehman keeps it alive in the back corner. Good bump there, off a rafter. Makes it hard, but a great play by Bergman. Kill was blocked by Township. Another block kill. Just a lot of force behind that kill by Matthew Sprague. Goes to the point for Crest, 20-17. That was a good rally. A lot of back and forth in that one. Impressive rally on both sides. Matthew Peelan with the serve. Point for Cedar Crest. Net fault. So it's 21-17 now. 4 points to go in this set for Crest. That was a little too hot for Bergman. The handle only hit his fingertips, went over his head. Like I said, the libero is usually there as your defensive anchor, but even they can make mistakes. They have a tough time. And we have the second timeout called by Manhiem Township with the score 22-17. There was a similar scoreline in the first set. It was 22-17 at one point. It ended up being 25-18, so we're kind of on track for something similar unless Township can stop the service run that Crest is on currently and then go on one of their own. But again, they haven't shown signs of being able to do that yet tonight. Every time you think they're going to have the momentum, they have a serve fault or another unforced error, whether it's a miscommunication in the back line or the serve fault or just mishitting that it goes out of bounds. So we'll just see if maybe they can get settled down from the second timeout, try to steady it a little bit, calm the nerves, try to get a couple points here after they can get service back. But it's 22-17. We still have Matthew Peelan on the serve for Crest. Nice play by Lehman. Wachinski with the kill, but a nice dig by the libero, and then a good foot save. In hockey, they would say a kick save and a beauty. I think Crest is unhappy about something there. They thought there was a net fault. Not there. Point does go to Township. They were able to salvage it and see if they can go on a service run themselves. Kill attempt went right into the net, so another point for Township. 22-19, trying to stay alive in the second set. Serve goes out of bounds, though. Again, every time you think they're going to have the momentum, there's an unforced error. So Matthew Sprague on the serve for Crest. A lot of passing back and forth, completely reverse it. Point goes to Crest. Hold on. There, I think the rest are going to talk about it. No, it is going point to Crest, so set point on the serve was Sprague. Looking to kill it and seal the set. But there's a net fault on Crest, so it is a point to Township. So it is 24-20, but now they need to go on a service run for the next 4 points at least if they want to have a chance. And there was no chance with that kill by Nikolai Cote. He said, no, we're ending this one right now. 25-20 for set number 2. Big kill there for Cote. So we're getting ready to head to the third set. We're going to take a look at some highlights. As we're getting ready to look at the highlights, I'd say this match kind of is going pretty much exactly as expected tonight. As Crest has been the more dominant squad, just having less of those unforced errors. So like I said, let's take a look at those replays. That was early on at the very beginning of the set where Machinsky started them hot with a couple quick points. But then again, you can see there, another one of those unforced errors as he hit that one wide. And another one where they just hit it too long, point for Crest. We're going to take a look at a play at the net here. It's just a good block by, like I said, Nicholas Sennen has been all over the blocks tonight. Just everywhere. Right there he was again. But did go out, so that ended up being a point for Township. That one was a tricky one. There was almost a double hit there for Township, but they got away with it. However, still point goes to Crest. That was a failed block attempt, a good point for Township. This was part of the big rally run where we had players diving all over the place from both teams. It's a little wide there. It's really hard to, I think, pick your spots because there's guys moving all over the court at all times. And sometimes when you're getting ready to jump for your kill, there's a guy there, but then he dips down so that he's not right there. And then, or you're going up for a block and somebody decides to dink it over your shoulder instead of going in for the kill, and you're just out of position, not ready for it. More plays at the net. I'm loving the net cam. So it really gives you an idea of how high these guys can jump. And this was the last play that ended with a kill there to send this to third set. Could be the final set if Crest wins. So to stay alive, Township needs to get to 25 before Crest does tonight. However, it doesn't seem like that's going to happen. I don't want to say it won't, but all signs are pointing to this being a sweep here by Crest. But we will play it out, and that's why you play the matches. We're getting ready to start the third set. Like I said, could be the final set if Crest wins. It's been a battle. There's been so many good plays on both sides. It's just Crest has ultimately had more successive or consecutive good plays and successive that has allowed them to get points and stay on service runs and end any type of service run that Township was going on. Good rally to start this set. Great dig out by Bergman to save it, and it is a point to Township. We're going to take a look at that replay because that was quite a rally and finish. Look at the hustle by Bergman. That is why he's in there as the libero. Like I said, they're a defensive anchor that just is there to solidify the defense. And while we were still looking at that replay, again, we had another unforced error by Township as Wachinski served it right into the net, and he was a very hot server in both the first and second sets. Kill attempt goes wide. Point goes to Crest. At this point, you also wonder if the players for Township are going to start to press a little bit and try a little bit harder, maybe try something that they wouldn't normally try in order to get a point here or there. A little dink is tricky, and Jack Black, captain, elevates with a nice play. Point goes to Township, 2-2. Bergman coming back for the serve. Now Crest with the unforced error, hitting it right into the net. Point Township, they go up 3-2. However, they were up in each of the other sets early, and then it kind of just fell apart. There's a nice kill there for Crest. Tie it back up at 3. Jude Garissi is back to serve. Unforced error as the kill goes right into the net for Parker Anthony. Bergman digs it. Jack Black with a little dink across. Been hit over by the libero for Crest. And so they are trying some different things. They're doing a lot more fakes this set. Block at the net. Tried to go the cross court kill, goes a little wide. Side out of bounds is a point for Crest, 5-3. Brisk with a good serve, was played by Black. Goes deep by Wachinski. Point for Crest, 6-3. Nice dig by Black. Pass goes back, good block at the net. Great dig to keep it alive by Wachinski. Another good rally here by both sides. It is a point for Crest. That ball was definitely flying back and forth that last rally point. Good point for Crest, up 7-3. Garissi's on a good service run here. Way to keep that alive. Good kill there by Captain Jack Black to kind of stop that run there. They needed that one. because it looked like this third set was going to get out of hand quickly if they wouldn't have stopped that run right there. Got Keen Lehman back to serve. Unforced error on the serve there. Gives it right back to Crest. 8-4. Matthew Peelin's back for the serve now. So the official at the net did call that point for Crest. However, conferring with the other official, said it wasn't net fault as he reached the whole way across the net. So that is a net fault foul point for Township. So it is 8-5 now, Cedar Crest. Another fault serve for Township. Gives the ball right back to Crest. We have Matthew Sprague back on the serve. Out of bounds on that kill attempt. Point goes to Township, 9-6. And Xavier Rankin is in now, freshman, in to serve. That is out. Point for Township. Like I said, Xavier Rankin, he's in. He was one of the key players for their match, the JV match that happened just before this one. So he's seen some varsity time, which is always exciting. We see some of the young guys get in match play to learn a little bit, get some experience. Had a missed dig attempt there, so point does go to Crest, 10-7. You can see how athletic these players are. It's like when the ball goes out and they have to run and they hurdle over the chairs and their teammates to make sure no one gets hurt. Now Crest with the fault serve of their own gives the ball right back to Township, 10-8. Griffin Crumbling was serve. Big kill there by Tanner Showers. Point goes to Crest as the block was unsuccessful at the net. Again, taking a look at our net cams, you can see how they are preparing for the serve coming up. Serve by Crest goes to the libero. It's a little bit wide, but kept in. Sent over by Black, but it was out. Point goes to Crest. Wachinski kept it in, but it's just, I think, too hard to handle for Jack Black, and it just went down that left side out of bounds. Wyeth Ritter on the serve. Oh, Wachinski with the kill. Nice kill there by Wachinski. Takes it to 12-9. That serve was too hot for libero Jude Garissi from Wyatt Wachinski. Just could not handle it. It caught him right in the forearm and one side. There was nothing he could do. Great serve ace. Crest is still up to 12-10 here in what could be the final set. nice kill down the line there by Matthew Sprague as he elevated and got that one inside the line for the point. Yeah, we're going to take a look at that one really quickly as that came in hot right down the line. Well, I'm sorry, I was wrong. I said Sprague. That was Drake Stiver. I apologize for that miscommunication on my end. Drake Stiver with that kill. And a good serve by Tanner Showers with the ace that was unable to be handled by Bergman for Township. Yep. Jack Black with the kill attempt right into the net. I will give Township credit as they are fighting. They haven't thrown in the towel and given up and said, let's go home. They are still fighting. Each point is a battle, not just giving it away, other than some of those unforced errors that we've seen them have so far. Serve. Nicholas Kennan was up there for a block. Big block there by Drake Stiver. Oh, little dink point there by Nicholas Sennan. Nice play between him and Stiver working together, making sure that they were a uniformed wall up there to prevent any kills. So Tanner Showers still on the serve. Wachinski sent it over. Wachinski went for the kill right into the net, though, 16-10. They've had it's been a battle. Like I said, they're not quitting. They've just been overpowered by a team that's playing better than they are at the moment. Kept alive by Garissi. Stiver with the kill. And could not be handled by Wachinski. He made an effort at it. He went after it, just couldn't get enough on it to get it over the net and return service. James Black with the kill attempt out. 18-10. I think you can start to sense some of the frustration on Township's side, or some of the exasperation. I think they know that it's getting tight and that they might not be able to win this one, but I think they're trying to make it salvageable, and they keep fighting. The line judge is over talking with the official about a point. Still, point goes to Cedar Crest. 19-10 in what could be the final set. We've had a good service run currently by Tanner Showers. Point goes to Township, stops that momentum a little bit. They needed that. Bergman with the serve. Right to his libero counterpart. Point goes to Township as Nicholas Kennan was called on a carry there. So it's 19-12. Little miscommunication there as nobody came up for Crest to get that point. Tanner Showers missed it, so it's another point for Bergman. Let's see if they can get some momentum here. That's 3 straight points. Look at the kill by Nicholas Sennan. He has done it on both sides, offensively and defensively tonight. He's had a lot of stuff blocks, and that right there was a big kill to stop any potential momentum for Township and maybe to end the comeback train that they were hoping to get on. Now, if Colin Horton is in serving. The point for Township is over the net. He went over the net, so it is a point for Township. 20-13. So there's a little bit of consternation there on Cedar Crest coach's side. They didn't agree with that call. But, again, we have to accept the calls that are made and just kind of be able to adjust and overcome. Big block there for Crest by Nikolai Cote at the net. Big block. 21-14. 4 points left in this match if Cedar Crest gets them. There has been some complaints on both sides about some of the official calls and wanting to know why even verify with the line judges if you're not going to change anything. But, again, they have different viewpoints than we do. They're up there in their chairs and on the floor for a reason doing their job. It's another point for Crest. 22-14. We now are currently having Matthew Peelan serve. Unforced error there, gives the ball right back to Township, but 22-15. Still only need 3 points if you are Crest, so just need to kind of settle down, make sure you make good contact with the ball, have a good hit, make sure you get a good return service here as Captain Jack Black is serving for Township. A good dig. Wachinski with the kill. But it was out, so it is a point to Crest. Yep, it was a good kill, just a little long. Good read by Crest to let it go. Jack Black kept that one in. Chinsky with a little dink, kept alive. Cedar Crest keeping the rally alive. Another little dink there by Tanner Showers. Puts it in. We're now at set and match point on the service for Crest. 24-15 in what's about to be the final set. A little deep on the serve. Had the adrenaline pumping. Matthew Sprague just was too excited for that one. Just trying to finish it off. So now we have freshman again, Xavier Rankin in to serve for Township. As like I said, he was one of the bigger stars during the JV match. He was a little excited himself. Serve went long. This match goes final, 3-0. 25-16 on the third set. Second set was 25-20, and the first set was 25-18. So that's a good match. We are going to take a look at some of the match highlights here in a minute and hopefully have an interview with one of the Cedar Crest players who really played well tonight, worked hard on both sides, offensively and defensively, was a contributor to his team getting quite a few points, and it was exciting to watch him play. Yep, so we're going to take a look at some highlights. So here we are looking at some of the highlights. So here we are looking at some of these highlights from this match. Like I said, it was kind of what we expected to see tonight. Cedar Crest did exactly what we thought. They won this one 3-0. Worked really hard. I do have one of their players with me that I'm really excited to talk to after we look at some of these highlights. That right there was and this was one of my coolest camera angles, seeing these at the net, especially for a lot of your plays. Right there was one while you didn't earn the point, you being there helped cause them to kind of hit it right into the net if I had to take a guess. But just looking at some of these highlights, some of them you'll see here. We have a couple more where you were in the shot. Just so you guys know, I'm here with Nicholas Sennin. He's sophomore, or Nicholas Kennan, sorry. I said his name wrong. And this is our last highlight, and then we will talk. And that one, I think you were excited. You were trying to get the kill, and it ended up. So I'll go ahead and switch Nicholas Kennan's mic on. So first, Nicholas, congratulations on the win tonight. Very excited, very proud of you. So we had the opportunity to watch you guys play tonight, and we get to pick a player of the match. And I thought I wanted to go with you tonight just because I saw your heart both offensively and defensively. You impacted a lot at the net. What's your mindset when you're out there defensively getting ready to go up for a block?
Oh, I just want to do my best and try and get to it, and so it's easier for our defense to pick the ball up.
Yeah, I mean, I would say you did an amazing job. Both you and Drake Stiver were next to each other a lot, forming a wall and going for those blocks. You also had a really big kill there in the third set. How long have you been playing volleyball?
I've been playing since 6th grade.
6th grade? Okay. And what about the sport drew you to it?
I didn't like the contact of other sports, and I liked how the net separated me from the.
Do you play with any clubs or just school?
Yeah, I play for Vail.
You do? Okay, awesome. I don't know a lot about volleyball. I am learning. It was really cool to see. Were you on the team last year when you guys won the league title?
No, I was on JV.
You were on JV last year. So how do you think this team compares to the team last year that won league?
I don't think we're as good, but they also had a lot more seniors, and we lost most of our seniors, so I think we're going to be really good in the years coming.
Yeah, I was going to say, if I look at the roster, I mean, there's only, I think, 4 seniors that you guys have on your roster. Yeah. So those 4 did play a part, but you end up they will, like you said, you guys will grow together. So anything that you want to add for this match? Like, how did you think it went? What are something you felt the team did well tonight?
I think our defense was really good, and we made all of our serves in, and we kept our errors down. So I think we did really good on that.
I would agree with you. I think the number of unforced errors that you guys had compared to Township was significantly less. So very good on that. I don't want to take too much of your time. I just want to say thank you for joining us tonight, Nicholas. Excellent job. Look forward to seeing you play the next couple of years and seeing this team grow. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
You can put your headset down. So I just want to thank Nicholas Kennan for meeting with me tonight. Very well-spoken young man, sophomore, not part of the team last year. He did play JV, though, and now this year is a very integral part. And we're going to take just a look at a couple of these remaining highlights before we say goodnight. Another use of the net cam. That one was a point. And this, you could see there's some arguing, confusion. Some of the players were agreeing with the official. Others were trying to say no. They thought it wasn't a net fault. But all in all, a very well-played, well-officiated, hard-fought match between both teams. I just, again, think Manhiem Township was overpowered by a stronger Cedar Crest team that just came in prepared to play. And as Nicholas said, they focused on not making errors, getting their serves in, and just allowing the defense to set up to then transition into offense, which you could see time and time again from the return serve and just the way that they were digging the ball. And they worked very well together. They communicated. You could hear it. You could see it. They looked to be just very well coached and knew exactly where each other were going to be. Like I said, Drake Stiver and Nicholas Kennan multiple times were just side by side there at the net, forming a wall that forced a lot of errors then by Manhiem Township. I know we said some of them were unforced errors, but there were some that were forced because they knew that that block and wall were being so aggressive and coming up with a lot of plays that forced them to then alter how they were going to shoot, whether they wanted to do a dink or go for the kill. So here, again, I was saying they keep their hands above or right there. That was one of those where Nicholas Kemp was very excited and just couldn't quite get it over that. But again, excellent match. Big win by Cedar